Okay, so in this demonstration, I'm going to demonstrate how to export your PowerPoint presentation to a video. And as I said earlier, I am using the 2011 PC version of PowerPoint. If you have completed import and composition and your timings and your triggers and your choreography and your narration, it's time to export to video. And you find that under File. It's not under Save or Save As like previous versions. It's under Export. Let's click on it, and there it is. Create a video. And we want the highest resolution because we're going to be distributing it to the web. 1280 by 720, which is a lower resolution version of high definition. We want to use the recorded timings and narrations because that's what we went to all the trouble of setting them up and then narrating for. So let's just go straight to create a video. It's going to give us the pop-up window, so where we can direct it to the directory we want it to export to. I highly recommend not aiming this to a network or internet or cloud-based drive. I doubt your connection is going to be fast enough to keep up with this export rate. In the drop-down menu, under File Type, you can also make a WMV, a Windows Media Video file, if you have a specific need for one. Now, if you're working with an older version of PowerPoint, you may only have the Windows Media file as your only option to export. And that is a perfectly valid format. YouTube will accept it, Vimeo will accept it, Kaltura will accept it. The only place that won't accept it is your Macintosh or your Apple computer. But you can force it to play it by downloading VLC, which is the media player I use, and it can play everything. Let's go ahead and just save it. And now we are exporting, and so you see the status bar here. Down here in the lower toolbar of PowerPoint, how long will it take? How long will it take for your system to export this presentation, or whatever presentation you make, into a video? Well, it depends on several things. The most important being your system. What sort of processor do you have? How much RAM does your system have? What sort of graphics processor card and onboard dedicated video RAM it may have. Obviously, the faster your system, the faster the export will take. But most importantly, what I recommend is that you have no other programs running at the time. Media and video production are a high resource activity, and so therefore any other applications or programs you may have running will definitely steal resources away from your production activities. So therefore, I highly recommend that you close out all other programs when you're recording, when you're editing, and when you're exporting video. Microsoft isn't the greatest at sharing resources, and so therefore, when programs are competing for the same resource, it's going to make a decision. More than likely, it's not going to be in your favor. What would happen if a video export was interrupted? Well, it may result in a corrupted file that will not be playable, or it could just result in a system failure that you recognize. Freezes, crashes, blue screens of death. This little machine took 36 minutes to export this 5-minute and 37-minute program. Of course, that clearly indicates the other contributing factor when estimating how long your project will take to export. The more complicated your project, the longer it will take. The more graphics, the more layers, the more high-resolution video, the longer it will take. So that took 36 minutes for PowerPoint to export that presentation to this video file. And it is 159 megabytes in size. And it is 5 minutes and 37 seconds long, 1280 by 720, 30 frames per second. Decent CD quality stereo sound. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to mute
Hello.
it. Okay. And this is what you heard me narrate. This is what you saw in the YouTube video. Now, how does it compare to the original PowerPoint file size? The original PowerPoint presentation was 45 megabytes in size, and it had, 3 videos in it? And when exported, it was almost 4 times the size. Now, as I'm demonstrating this to you, I am running Camtasia and the Camtasia screen recorder. And so, as you saw before, that taxed the system pretty slowly. And actually what I did was I closed Camtasia so that PowerPoint would export it quicker. And that's one of the things that I'm going to recommend, that you close out all applications that would steal resources from your export. In fact, now that you see what sort of investment of time it will take to export such a presentation, you'll see that it's something best done at the end of the day. Just close out all your applications and programs, set PowerPoint to export, and then leave for the day. And that file should be waiting for you in the morning. Now, regardless of whether or not you are using a desktop PC or PC laptop, you will need to know a little bit about your system's power management settings. What I have done is I have gone and told the computer to never go to sleep and never idle ever unless I tell it to. And so more than likely, if your computer is running such a process, it won't go to sleep. But if you come back to your office the next morning and PowerPoint is still exporting after you wake up the computer, more than likely your computer may have gone to sleep or started hibernating somewhere in the middle of the export process, and now that you've woken it up, it will begin it again, if that's possible. Sometimes such an interruption would cause a catastrophic error and the process would fail. My point is that most likely as you venture more into media production on your desktop, you will need to take automated power decisions away from the computer so that it does not interrupt your processes. Whether you're recording or exporting, it doesn't matter. Make sure your computer doesn't do what you do not want it to do.